Every time you avoid something, your brain gives you a reward. There is a moment that you know very well. The task is open in front of you, you have the time, you even have the intention, and then something happens. Not a decision exactly, more like a drift. Suddenly, you're doing something else, something smaller, something easier. And for a brief moment, you feel better. You're not proud, not productive, just relieved. That relief isn't a side effect of procrastination, it's the reward. Your brain isn't failing when this happens. It isn't weak, it isn't broken. It is doing exactly what it's been trained to do, and it's been training for years. This is the relief loop, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Think about the last time you really needed to do something. Not a small task, something that actually mattered. A project, a phone call you've been putting off, or a plan you kept meaning to start. You sat down, you opened it up, and within minutes, sometimes even seconds, something else appeared. An email, a notification, a sudden need to make the tea, something that felt in that moment more manageable. You didn't decide to avoid the task, you just moved towards something easier. And here is what nobody tells you about that moment: it felt better. Not better because the tea was good, but better because the pressure dropped. The task was still there, nothing was resolved, but the discomfort, that low hum of not yet started, had quieted, even briefly. And that feeling has a name. It's called relief. And your brain has been cataloguing every single time. Not laziness, it's not weakness, evidence. Your brain has learned through years of repetition that when a difficult task appears, moving away from it works. The discomfort stops, the pressure quiets, the moment passes. And that lesson, that moving away solves the problem, gets stored, filed, ready to deploy next time. This isn't a character flaw, it's a training record. You've been told a story about why you can't start things. And the story goes like this: you lack discipline, you lack motivation, you lack the willpower that other people seem to have. And because you believe that story, even partially, you've tried to fix it. The apps, the planners, the productivity systems, the cold showers and the 5 a.m. alarms, the book that promised to change your habits in 21 days. Some of it worked briefly, but then it didn't. And when it stopped working, the story updated. I can't even follow through on that. Here's what those tools get wrong: they weren't solving the right problem. Every productivity system, every habit tracker, every streak counter, they all assume the same thing: that you've already started, that you're in motion, and you just need help staying consistent. But procrastination isn't a consistency problem, it's an initiation problem. Those tools arrive too late. They show up after the moment has already passed, after the drift has already happened, after the relief has already been collected. The planner on your desk doesn't help you in the second before you reach for your phone. The app on your home screen doesn't interrupt the moment you decide to make tea instead of starting. They manage avoidance, they don't interrupt it. And motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something that follows action, which means every system that tries to generate motivation before you start is solving the problem in the wrong order. It looks like a discipline problem. It's structured as a timing problem. So, if it isn't laziness, what is it? Every episode of procrastination begins the same way, not with distraction, not with poor time management, with discomfort. It might be the mild anxiety of not knowing where to start. It might be the dull weight of a task that feels too big. It might be something quieter, a sense that the task might reveal something uncomfortable about your ability. Whatever it is, your nervous system registered it as a low level threat. And at that point, your brain asks one question: not what matters long term, not who do I want to be, just how do I make this feeling stop? And delay is the fastest answer available. You check your phone, the discomfort drops. You make your tea, the pressure quiets. You reorganize your desk, the threat signal reduces. And your brain registers all that as this worked. Not consciously, you don't think avoidance is a good strategy, but below the surface, the learning is happening anyway. Discomfort appeared, you moved away, relief arrived. The brain stores that sequence, strengthens the pathway, and next time discomfort appears, the route to relief is faster, more automatic, less questioned. This is the relief loop. Discomfort, delay, relief, repeat. It isn't a character flaw running on a loop, it's a learning system, working exactly as designed, trained, efficient, invisible. Until now. The relief loop doesn't just affect what you do. Over time, it changes what you believe about yourself. Every time the loop runs, every time discomfort appears and you drift away from it, a quiet record is being kept. Not by anyone else, by you. Each unkept intention is a data point. Each drift is a piece of evidence. And eventually, that evidence accumulates into a belief. I'm someone who doesn't follow through. It's not dramatic, not announced, just a quiet background assumption that shapes everything that comes after. You still make plans, but you make them without expecting them to happen. You still set intentions, but you hold them loosely because experience has taught you they won't stick. This is where procrastination stops being about time management. It becomes an identity, and that identity creates its own gravity. Because when you believe you're someone who avoids, starting feels even heavier. Because now you're not just doing a task, you're arguing with everything you've come to expect from yourself. The exhaustion you feel isn't just tiredness, it's the weight of carrying a self image built from evidence you never meant to create. It feels personal, it's patterned, and the pattern started long before you noticed it. So, where does that leave us? Not with a system, not with a plan, not with 5 steps to a more productive morning, with something smaller and more durable. The relief loop survives because it's invisible. The discomfort appears and the drift follows so quickly, so automatically, that by the time you notice, relief has already arrived. The loop has already closed. What changes things isn't more willpower, it's a better system. It's seeing the loop as it happens, not in hindsight, not at the end of the day when you review what your day held, in the moment, in the second before the drift. That second is where everything lives. Because in that second, if you can see what's happening, you're no longer inside the loop. You're watching it. And something that can be watched can be chosen. Not forced, not overcome with effort, just seen clearly enough that it loses its automaticity. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need more discipline. You just need a mirror. Not a map of where to go, a mirror. One that shows you what's actually happening in the moment it's happening. That's not a small thing. That's the only thing that ever needed to change.